There was a lot of questions about what's going to happen next in the trial, and obviously, we don't know. I do think the general consensus is, and I haven't done an update recently, so forgive me if any of this was the wheels started rolling. I don't believe they have. I don't know if they've done pretrial motions or not. It was kind of crazy, but I have zero doubt in my mind that the prosecution is going to ask for a new judge. This judge strikes me as being obviously biased and not one you want to work with, and getting her overruled and working through the shenanigans of trying to getting a functioning trial out of this. You want her removed ASAP. I suspect that's going to happen. The other thing that I think is going to happen is there's going to be a charge of prosecutorial misconduct, and they're going to just try to have either not a default judgment, a summary judgment, and throw the case out because of prosecutorial misconduct. I haven't seen any evidence that would warrant sustaining that, but it doesn't hurt to try, and maybe they've got something I don't know about. I've heard they feel that somebody did something. I don't know. But so we're going to see a lot of the pretrial stuff. If anybody's really curious about what the next 6 months are going to look like, I'm going to tell you. The other concern was, well, if he gets into office, can he pardon himself for this? Yes, he can. I don't think he would, because it's too much trouble. The President of the United States is the chief executive in this country, so what that means is that they determine what cases are tried or aren't, and they don't go through with every single case. But they can direct anybody in the executive branch to prosecute certain cases or not, and that's why every now and then, Obama said, we are not going to prosecute people who are not documented here in the United States. We're not going to do that, and there's a reason, and that's part of his job, is to determine how resources are allocated, and that was the decision that he made. Trump is entirely within his rights if he is reelected. I don't think it should be legal, but it is. It is within his purview to call up the Justice Department and say, hi, I noticed you're prosecuting a guy named Donald J. Trump, and I am instructing you to end the prosecution. And they must, period, end of discussion. That's what the Constitution says. He's the chief executive. That's their job. If they don't, he fires them, replaces them with someone who does, and that's, unfortunately, that's within it. So he ends the case. Georgia will indict him. They will indict him soon. I am hoping we are looking at days or weeks on that. I suspect we are looking at days or weeks on that. He cannot pardon himself for that. He cannot pardon himself for that, and he cannot tell the Justice Department not to do it, because it's not his Justice Department. It's the Justice Department of Georgia. He's in trouble in Georgia. He will be hit with some charges that are actually more serious than these. Now, I think these should be the more serious charges, because I think this is like, okay, this is maybe treason, maybe selling nuclear secrets, undermining the security of the entire country. I think that's a problem. But in Georgia, it's election tampering, election fraud, all of these, and most of them carry terms longer than the federal ones that he's being charged with. If he is convicted in Georgia, he cannot be on the ballot in Georgia for anything, including president. He cannot win the presidency without Georgia. And if he does win, he cannot pardon himself for the Georgia crimes. He cannot get the Georgia crimes off. He has no say on the Georgia crimes. And it looks to me like the evidence in those are even stronger than in this case. So this is just the beginning. Things are going to get worse for him. They're going to get worse for him reasonably quickly. This case, I think, has enough meat that they can hook him on it. I think he's going to get nailed. I think his attorneys are very crystal clear. They're aware and have been trying to get the prosecutors to play ball, and the prosecutors aren't interested because they know how good a case they've got. That's what this looks like to me. We've talked about that, but so if you're interested in understanding where this is going, he's going to be in a lot more trouble, and it's actually going to be in the state of Georgia by state crimes, and a state prosecution, not the federal one. And so he does have outs on this. He'd have to win. It looks like he's going to be the nominee. That's what people are saying. I wouldn't guess this far out, but DeSantis has no way. DeSantis will not be the nominee unless something truly kneecaps Trump, and clearly this isn't capable of doing it. But DeSantis does not have the momentum or the ability to gain that momentum without some event that changes it. If everything just proceeds as a normal campaign, it is impossible at this point for DeSantis to reach the point where he could be the nominee. It cannot happen. There has to be something cataclysmic. And the cataclysmic things happen, the September, October, November, whatever surprise, They do happen, but short of that, he cannot be the nominee at this point.